This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV in association with MTK Global.
You still
Never failed me, dear Eddie. Never failed me, dear.
What did you call me last night? ESPN Eddie?
Yeah, so I only rung you once. People were suggesting that I rung you more than a few times, but I rung you once.
Yeah, you rang me once and you sent me about 15 WhatsApps.
I sent you 4.
Okay.
But I do appreciate that you were obviously travelling back.
I just got back. Yeah, I mean, you know, look, as I said to you, yesterday's interview, not announcement, interview with ESPN was, you know, we didn't want to make a big formal announcement and a fuss, but I wanted to let everyone know, you know, I spoke to Fury's team. They were happy for us to convey to everybody that everybody had signed because it's good news. It's called momentum. It's called excitement, you know, and there's still hurdles to overcome. You know, we've got to go out and decide where this is going to take place and when. Everybody's moving in the right direction in terms of the dates, but it's momentum. It's good news. And you guys have been waiting for good news. You know, we've kept saying 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks. And ultimately, when you get a fight as big as this, with the 2 fighters and all the teams putting pen to paper, let's celebrate it and let's move forward and get this done. And that's what we intend to do.
Okay, let's start with, I heard part of Frank Warren's interview on Talk Sport today, and he said that he wasn't happy that kind of you put that out there because apparently it was agreed that it would be a mutual thing. Something
I think Frank said
that a mutual thing.
It was agreed we would do announcements. There wasn't an announcement. You know, I confirmed with Fury's team that they were happy for that to be mentioned. They were. So that's what we did. You know, it wasn't a case of me tweeting or a press release. It's on. No, it was just, I've heard that you've all signed now. Is that correct? Yes, we have signed. We're now moving forward to confirm the date and the venue. And, you know, I think we should celebrate it. You know, from our side, myself, Anthony, 258 management have worked really hard to get this done. So we have still got work to do, but how good is it that everyone's put pen to paper? No one can be accused of not trying to get this done from our side, from their side. We've both sides have worked really hard to try and deliver this. And now we've got to go up and finish his job.
Wasn't it you that's always said, though, without a venue, without a date, there is no fight? You've said that in the past before. So why is it different now? Why should we get excited now?
Because you've got the biggest fight in world boxing where 2 guys have agreed and signed to the terms of it. But again, if we had a confirmed date and venue and site, I would have come out yesterday. You know, I wouldn't have stopped on social media. You wouldn't have been able to stop me. I would have been going around town with a placard. You know, but we're not. We're just keeping you updated. That's something that we've always done. We get asked 50 times a week, where are you up to with Fury Joshua? Has everybody signed yet? Well, yeah, we have. So good news. So let's crack on and move forward. So I think it's something that should be celebrated. I mean, I've seen like, it's almost like some people want it to fail. I saw other journalists last night, like who didn't get the exclusive, you know, well, there's a long way to go. I mean, there's probably, this fight won't even happen. It's like, blimey, it's kind of like a good sign that everyone's trying to get it done. Don't you agree?
Absolutely, yeah.
We would have all wasted our time over the last 2 or 3 months trying to draft the contract, trying to agree the terms and try and get everybody, all the different parties to individually sign this contract. I'm happy. I'm happy. We should be happy. And now, after all the approaches, we can finally go back to these sites and say, the great news is it's done. So once we secure this deal, once we decide where we're going to go, you have the fight if you're the winning bidder.
So, just to clarify, everyone from your side and everyone from Team Fury's side has signed what they need to sign. There is no pending this signature or that signature. Everything's been signed.
Yeah. The only thing that's pending is for the parties to report back to the fighters with the various site offers and collectively decide where we want to stage this fight.
What happens if you can't agree this within 28 days? Because we saw Mark Kriegel obviously made some comments about this 28-day period.
That's the date and the period of which we want to get this done by. Don't forget, this fight is due to take place in June, early July. So naturally, there's going to be a time limit on trying to get this done. And there has been a number of talks taking place behind the scenes over the last week or two with sites and venues because of that time frame. So we will be talking to sites and venues, Team Fury will be talking to sites and venues, and collectively we'll both present these to the fighters and present them with the best opportunities and options for this fight.
I mean, what if you're in a disagreement team-wise about where the venue is? Is that a possibility that could happen?
I've never heard of anything of a disagreement before.
Well,
but,
you know what I'm saying, so just roll with it.
Just roll with it. Look, ultimately, everybody's got to be happy with the venue deal and the date. But, again, we wouldn't have gone through this process if all parties didn't want this fight. So now it's the job. This isn't really that much of a conspiracy or a big deal. It's just ultimately we wanted to get this fight agreed. We've got the fight agreed. We've had numerous site offers. Now we've got the fight agreed. We can go and close one of them and present it to the fighters. They both want this fight desperately. It's not, no one's looking at excuses here of why this shouldn't happen. Yes, as Bob pointed out, we're in a global pandemic and there might have been an easier time to do this fight, or it may have been easier to delay it. We don't want to delay it. No one wants to delay it. Now's the time, the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. So we'll go and do our work now.
So is it fair to say that Saudi Arabia is the front runner?
No, not necessarily. I mean, again, I'm not going to sit here and go through every approach we've had from various sites, but it's quite an arduous task going through those approaches because, there's often in territories where we don't have representation or we don't actually know who pulls strings where. But ultimately, we have to explore that. And I didn't want to go through that process until we knew we had a fight. So, yes, of course, we've staged an extremely successful fight with Saudi Arabia before. It was a wonderful experience. They're interested in hosting this fight. Of course they are. It's the biggest fight in boxing. It's the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. But there are multiple territories in the Middle East that want to stage this fight and 4 additional territories outside of that who have made approaches. So now's the time to have those proper conversations and report back to the fighters.
Is the UK even in the running?
Unlikely. Yeah. I mean, right now, if we could get 100,000 at Wembley, possibly, but we couldn't move with any kind of confidence at the moment that will be a possibility.
Have you set what kind of month possibly the second fight will take place in? Is that in the contract?
No, the plan is June, July for the first fight, November, December for the second fight. Again, we appreciate that we are coming off the back of a pandemic, but everybody has signed an agreement to move forward with those 2 days. That's what everybody who's agreed on this fight plans to do. 2 fights this year, one in the summer, one at the end of the year.
Can you make any comment on reports suggesting this fight is worth 400 million?
It's the biggest fight in world boxing. I can't
Would it generate that money, for the fighters?
No. It depends on the pay-per-view buys, doesn't it? That's a huge amount of money, but it is the biggest fight in boxing. Can you tell me any other fight in boxing even remotely close to this one right now?
No. If you ask some people from America, some Americans, I've heard say on social media saying Crawford Spence, but no, I'm just saying what I've seen. But for me, this is hands down the biggest fight in world boxing.
Undisputed heavyweight world championship. It doesn't get any bigger than this.
Belt situation. Mm-hmm. As far as you know, are all titles going to be on the line? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Are you having an R-ing?
Of course. Look, we know that the WBO have ordered Usyk against Joyce for the interim, and all the other belts. Josh has just completed his IBF mandatory. He's not due a mandatory with the WBA or the IBO, and Fury's not due a mandatory right now. Next fight with the WBC. So, and obviously the ring belt, no mandatories there. So, all good.
All good. Okay. And you say June, July, Eddie. Have you pinned out specific dates at the end of June, start of July that this could possibly take place?
Some of them because of the Euros in June, but ultimately will be led by the site and the broadcasters, but mainly the date of preference for the site.
And wherever the fight takes place, whether it be Saudi or wherever, there will be fans there, won't there? Just confirm that with me. There will be fans there.
We're in a world at the moment where you don't really know what's going to happen. But at the moment, it appears that in virtually every territory, I mean, we had 15,000 in Miami. We were allowed 4,000 in Dallas last week. We may be allowed 70,000 in Dallas for Billy Joe Saunders, Canelo, if we go there. So, yeah, you'd like to think that by then, most of the world will be open up to fans.
Okay. I know this is a little bit irrelevant now, but I just wanted to ask, what did you make of Tyson Fury's interview he gave literally like 3 days ago?
I just think he's playing mind games, isn't it? I mean, I do think that Tyson's probably, he's just, don't forget, he was supposed to fight in December. And he couldn't, whatever happened. So he's probably a little bit pissed off. So he is probably thinking, hurry up, like, is this going to happen? But fights this size do take time. He looks great. He definitely ain't drinking 12 pints a day. And yeah, we're looking forward, as I said, to the teams going out collectively and try and provide the best opportunities for the fighters. So everybody's shown their intention. I think that's the best way to say it, that this fight is on. And you can't ask for more than that from anybody. So now we've got to work, whilst there'll always be, he said that, she said that, he shouldn't have done that. We all want to make this fight. We all want this fight. It's the biggest fight in boxing. So hopefully Tyson can get his mojo back and start talking up what is, quite frankly, the sporting event of the year.
Will you do a press tour, like a world press tour? Yeah.
But again, that's, again, I think all I did was I confirmed to a journalist who asked me if the fight had been signed. I confirmed that it had been signed. So the singing and shouting from the rooftops will come when we can give you the official announcement of the fight, date, site, everything. And that will be monstrous because this build-up is going to be outrageous.
And that 28 days, when's that from?
8 hours ago.
From today?
No, from the signing of the contract. We want, that's a date that we set ourselves. If we were close to an agreement and it went to a few days over, but we ultimately, for this fight to take place in the summer, we have to have some kind of cut-off point, and that's a realistic time period to get this deal done with the site.
Okay, well, it sounds positive anyway. So
positive. It does make me laugh that it's like, I mean, I've seen a lot of responses from the media. It's almost like, yeah, but it's really not that complicated. We all want to do the fight. We've all worked hard to get this contract done. We've now signed the contract. Now we move forward to confirm when and where it's going to take place. That's all. So, yes, celebrate it, because fans often say, he don't want it, they don't want it. We all want it because we're all signed. We're all in. We appreciate the world is a slightly different place as it was a year and a half ago. But ultimately, the interest that we've had and the fact this is the biggest fight in boxing, one of the biggest sporting events in the world, means that we will move quickly to present the best opportunities to the fighters as soon as possible to try and make these dates a reality.
Just one more on this. Are you in any position to make any comment on the broadcast situation for this fight between the US and here?
I don't think that's needed to be discussed at the moment. That will all be reported when the time is right and the full fight is confirmed.
Okay. Because it'd be interesting to see what happens, obviously, with UK, DAZN, Sky, BT, ESPN. How will you all guys work together?
All to be announced in good time. But as I said, at the moment, in the spirit of everything, everyone is keen to work together to make sure this fight is delivered.
Okay. Eddie, just going back to the weekend. Well, a lot of people didn't believe that Estrada won that fight. Your thoughts?
I probably felt that after the 12th round, I had it literally going into the 11th, going into the 12th, I really wasn't sure. And I felt like Chocolatito won the last round. And perhaps 115, 113 Chocolatito. I think the problem is, again, you know, I know we get accused of being biased in Britain, but American judge, scored it 117, 111, which I can't see. And when you get a card like that, it sort of amplifies the fact that I don't think there was many people that were watching that didn't say 115, 113, either way I can accept. But what I can't accept is 117, 111. I mean, the best fight I've ever watched live. Just the most incredible fight. And I'd like to see it again. You know, it's 1-1. Some people feel like Chocolatito should have got that decision. Thought he was incredible, as was Estrada. And, you know, being allowed a full crowd in California for that fight would be tremendous. But obviously there's also Rung Basai, who's a mandatory. We've got to make sure that he's delivered a world title shot as well. So, yeah, I feel that probably from the polls, I guess like 70-30, thought that Chocolatito won the fight, something like that. But a very, very close fight. A lot of close rounds. But I felt like 117, 111 was just another one of those scorecards that you couldn't see, you know?
Did Katy Taylor get the right credit for beating Jessica Mccaskill? Because every time I've seen them last two fights, that's the first thing I think of how kind of underrated that win was for Katy Taylor.
I think sometimes both those girls don't quite get the credit that they deserve. Katy for moving so quickly and taking continuous challenges, and Jessica Mccaskill for really coming over to London once as a lightweight, giving Katy Taylor at the time one of the toughest fights of her career when she was quite inexperienced. Well, both of them were quite inexperienced as pros. And then Jess moved up to 140, beat the champion, unified, and then moved up again and become undisputed welterweight champion. So what she's done is incredible. I mean, she's a right handful. She doesn't sometimes look the prettiest in terms of her boxing, but she's tough and non-stop, roughhouse. And she set about Brackhouse, didn't she? And Cecilia couldn't deal with it. And, you know, again, that's a fight that can be made now. You know, the rematch there. Katy's obviously undisputed lightweight champion. Mccaskill's undisputed welterweight champion. That could be a potential fight for later this year.
When are you announcing Katy Taylor's next fight?
Friday. That's the plan. Should never really give a date, should I? Because then...
No, but is it who we assume it? Or
the one you go is, what percentage chance...
No, I don't say that.
You do. You've done it before.
No, I don't.
I'm trying to announce Katy's fight on Friday.
Is it what we spoke about last time? Don't make me start doing the letters.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Okay. Okay, so fight week. Huge chance for Lawrence Okolie to become world champion. Finally, I mean, it's almost turning into a little bit of a cursed fight, but it's on this week. And everyone tested okay from the bubble? We don't know, yeah?
We haven't got all the results in yet, but Glowacki has actually had COVID, didn't he, for the December fight? So we know he'll be okay. Lawrence has just turned up for testing today. So fingers crossed we get all the negatives in and we got a good show. You know, of course, the main feature is Lawrence Okolie going for the World Championship, trying to become the 7th Brit to win a Cruiserweight World Championship. Would be a tremendous achievement. And Glowacki, you know, looking to become a 3-time world champion. Really tough fight. Brilliant to see Joe Cordina back in action. Really good fight for Anthony Fowler. Ellie Scotney, Ramla Ali. Tough fight for Chris Billam-Smith as well for the WBA international title. And a really good fight between Brad Ray and Lee Cutler, which is a fight that we just added because Steve Wood proposed it to me and I thought that's an absolute war. So let's stick it on. We're running with that from Facebook from 6 o'clock. So looking forward to getting down there. Nervous for Lawrence because, you know, again, he's a fighter that we signed from the debut and I really want to see him win a world title. And I really feel like he can unify the division quickly and before inevitably moving up to heavyweight. But you know, amongst being a top-selling author, a rap artist, the one thing he can really do is fight. And hopefully, and I believe in him, I believe he'll become world champion this Saturday.
Do you know what? That's a really good fight for Ramon O'Reilly against Bet Connolly.
Oh, mate.
Really good.
Really tough fight. I mean, look, Bet Connolly's got that record, hasn't she, where she's been slung in again. I mean, she boxed Ellie Scottney last time, but she's a very good fighter. Tough. And it's a massive step up from Ramon O'Reilly. It's only her second pro fight. You know, she had COVID. She couldn't box last time out. It's been a while since she fought. And Bet Connolly is tough. This is a really tough fight. And Ellie Scottney's in a good fight as well. So it's a really good card. And, you know, really looking forward to seeing Fowler back in action. Looks great under Shane McGuigan. But really, really excited to see Joe Cordina back. I believe this kid is going to be a world champion within 12 months. And he's got a tough fight as well.
Okay. Obviously, we'll talk more in depth about next week when it's going to be a very interesting week in Gibraltar. But
you coming?
Of course, I'm coming. I'm back.
Hey,
I'm back.
The debut, isn't it? It's the daddy debut.
It is, yeah, absolutely. Eddie, really interesting fight you've just added to that.
Yeah.
Pfeiffer and Webb. Like, where did that come from?
So what happened was Eric Pfeiffer's sparring with Dillian, and Dillian's got such a good heart. Like, if he meets someone that he thinks is a really good guy, he wants to help him, he wants to give him opportunity. So he started sparring Pfeiffer, he's been very impressed with, and he said, I want to get him on the show. So I thought, look, Eric Pfeiffer, German, very good fighter, but what he's famous for is Daniel Dubois pulling out the fight against Eric Pfeiffer. That's all we know him for, isn't it? So we need to put him in with a Brit. Got in touch with Scott Welch, offered him the fight, massive opportunity for Nick Webb. It's a really good little 50-50 fight, I think. So yeah, a little bit more fun out in Gibraltar next week.
What's the fan situation out there, Eddie?
I'll give you the exclusive, actually. We're going to be allowed 500 fans in the arena. We will be making an announcement actually now, because I just did it with you, but probably an official announcement today or tomorrow, with all the procedures for people to get tickets. And yeah, it was, you know, that was one of the reasons we went there, is Dillian wanted to fight in front of fans. You know, he last time out, don't know whether he felt a little bit flat or whatever behind closed doors, but you know how important is this fight for Dillian Whyte? I mean, this is his career on the line. Yeah, this fight in terms of world title ambition. So he must, and I think having fans there will help him. I really do, because I believe he's got a plan to go in there and set about Alexander Povetkin and try and take his head off. And I think it's going to be electric. And to have fans there, even 500 will be great. So all the official information coming shortly. But yeah, 500 fans in the place on the Rock, the Rumble in the Rock, next Saturday in Gibraltar. Can't believe how quickly it's come around. So in regards to this fan situation, are you outlining how people can travel from the UK to there? No, it's not. There's not going to be travel from the UK to go to Gibraltar. So it's people that are based there? Yeah, locals. Okay. Which there are, obviously, Brits. Yeah. There anyway. So, yeah, we're not saying to people, fly out and come to the show, because it's not going to be possible with the restrictions. Okay. And that card is now set, yeah? Yeah. Okay. April 10th. Is Fitzgerald still fighting? At the moment, yeah. There is a chance we might push him back to May the 1st, which is a card we'll announce on Friday. Excuse my language, absolute monstrous show. Is this May the 1st? May the 1st. Wait till you see the lineup. It's a belter. Are we assuming that 2 certain heavyweights are featured on that card? Possibly. So let me get my little notebook out. All the boys in the office and the girls take the mickey out of me about my notepad, because everyone's obviously high tech. I just like to make notes. Let's get a little, yes. Ooh, I bet you wish you could see that page. Jeez. Canelo card. Jeez. Right. Okay. Yeah, May the 10th. Ben against Vargas, obviously big main event. And the big female fight that was added at the weekend. Shannon Courtney against Ebony Bridges. Cracking fight. Can't wait for that one. Savannah Marshall, back defending her world title, obviously ahead of a potential Clarissa Shields fight. Cash Farouk fight being announced today. Looks like Scott Fitzgerald on that card as well. Who else we got on that card? Johnny Hedges, Cyrus Patterson making his pro debut as well. So that's a cracking card.
So just going back to the fight you announced between Shannon Courtney and Ebony Bridges. So obviously Rachel Ball is still recovering from COVID. So the winner of this fight is definitely going to fight Ball in the next fight. Is that
subject to? I mean, we saw her her interview. A piece that she put out on social media, which was hard to watch because she's really like she said, she's been terribly unlucky. She won the WBC interim title against Guani. The rematch was made for January, I think, or early February. She got COVID, so we rescheduled the fight for April 10. And at the last show, Errol just came up to me and said she can't get going in training. She's just not recovered. So we give our absolute word that the winner of this fight will fight Rachel Ball in the summer, and hopefully, with another month or so, she can recover and get back to full fitness. So it's been a strange little sort of trio of events, hasn't it? Rachel Ball fought Shannon Courtney. Rachel Ball won. Rachel Ball was supposed to fight Ebony Bridges for the world title. Ebony Bridges got injured, so Shannon boxed Guani for the interim world title because Guani couldn't make bantamweight. Then Shannon Courtney comes back with a win. Then Shannon Courtney's supposed to fight Rachel Bridges for the world title. Then Rachel Bridges is out. Then Ebony Bridges, Rachel Ball. I mean, I'm getting confused myself now. I don't know. But so yeah, it's and then Ebony Bridges had a good win on Saturday. And I said to Brian Lawrence, their manager, before that, I said, if she wins on Saturday and comes through unscathed, she's WBA number 6 or something like that. Would she want to fight Shannon Courtney for the world title? And Ebony said yes. And she's now, I believe, in Philadelphia for a final part of her training camp out there before she flies to the UK.
very interesting? So, May the 1st card's being announced Friday, yeah?
That's the plan.
Okay. You want to keep a little bit this under wraps here. I'm not going to... Is it the best card you've ever put on? Because you say this sometimes. Best card top to bottom.
I've ever put on.
What is it really?
I think it's the best card I've ever put on. I do say that nearly like every other week. Do you know what I mean? But I'm looking at it here. I mean, every fight could 100% be every fight on the card could be a Saturday night fight night headliner. And actually, no. I mean, we're going to look to announce 5 fights on Friday. At least 2 of them are too big. Probably 3 of them to be individual Saturday night fight night shows, headlines. So it is a really, really good card. Really good card.
Okay. Billy Joe Saunders, Canelo. Are we swinging towards Dallas at the moment?
There will be an official announcement on Thursday for the venue. Look, it's between Vegas and Dallas. The issue, everyone loves to go to Vegas, don't they? But the issue is at the moment it's at, I believe, 20% capacity, with the potential to go to 50% maybe in the next couple of weeks. Dallas, the meeting with the Cowboys and Jerry Jones was that we would be allowed 70,000 people there by May, and it would just be, even selfishly, it will just be the most incredible event. So we are just finalising everything at the moment, and there'll be an official announcement regarding the Canelo venue on Thursday.
As far as you know, will there be any kind of travel restriction lift going to the US if fans wanted to come out from the UK?
I mean, what a question for me.
Well, I don't know. You might know. You're in with the government.
Eddie Johnson.
Hello, mate. You just rolled in all circles.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know is the answer. I mean, I hope so because, I'm obviously travelling. I get the opportunity to travel on exemptions with the elite events, but it's even doing that, it's hard work. So hopefully there'll be some restrictions lifted. middle end of April, and people can travel out to that event. But you know, we shall see.
Can you give us an update on Billy Joe's scrotum injury, please?
Yeah, you know, he FaceTimed me the other night and actually showed me it, and because I didn't believe him at the time, and when he showed me, I had to apologise because I thought he was just being up to his normal joke. So,
is it healing?
It was healing up. Still looked a little bit sore, but no, I'll stop that. No, I think, yeah, I don't know. I know Billy's training hard. You know, I know this is the kind of fight that Billy switches on for. Billy knows that if he wins this fight, it's, I mean, is it the greatest win by a British fighter on away territory of all time? I mean, it's arguably...
It's up there, definitely impossible.
You know what? I've said it before, I'll say it again. Billy Joe Saunders, he has it in him to produce the performance. He's just one of those guys, when he's flat, and when he's unmotivated, he's unmotivated. But when he's switched on and he's sharp, he's one of the best fighters in the world. And he is, in my opinion, the most dangerous threat to Canelo-Bjs. And I know that he has the bit between his teeth and probably a little bit of fear in his belly that he needs to be at his very best. And I believe he will be. And honestly, I can't wait for the fight. I cannot wait. You know,
any idea who else might feature on the card?
Again, just going through stuff. I mean, it's going to be unravelled in the next couple of weeks, but I'm looking to put on a really good card on May the 8th. I just feel that I know everyone sort of, you know, gives me a little bit of jip now, my new relationship with Canelo, and, you know, oh, friend Eddie, oh. But it has been a blessing where I can provide our guys with the opportunity of a lifetime. First with Callum Smith and now Billy. So it's over to them.
Has that deal been extended with Canelo now then?
No, not yet. I mean, I saw some quotes from him last night, very nice words about us and Matchroom. And, you know, it's difficult because, again, you know, you say that, oh, he's asked me to look into the fight with Caleb Plant in September. Oh, what? You're saying, you know, Billy's not going to win. No, but, you know, we have an obligation all round to look at people's futures. And if Canelo-Bjs beats Billy Joe Saunders, he wants to fight for the undisputed championship against Caleb Plant.
Liam Smith against Kurbanov on May the 8th.
Correct.
Yeah, we know how tough that fight's going to be for Liam.
Good fight, but, you know, I really applaud Liam because he believes he can win the fight.
Yeah.
He thinks it's a good opportunity for him and he just jumped at it and great. And, you know, we want to try and make that Jesse Vargas fight, but that's not going to be till crowds come back. So he said, I want to fight. You know, he hasn't boxed since December of 2019. So the opportunity come. He believes he can beat Kurbanov. I believe he beats Kurbanov, and I think it's a good fight.
Okay. You announced your card for April the 3rd, and you seem very excited about that.
Yeah, because, you know, part of our global expansion is obviously rolling out in as many territories as we can, and Uzbekistan is a country that has just got so much talent, and they've had to make names for themselves, haven't they, in America? And it's so nice to see the country supporting their incredible talent, namely Akhmadaliev defending his WBA and IBF world titles, Madrimov and Girsov. It's going to be a massive event in Uzbekistan. So that's April the 3rd for us. And can't wait.
Anything on Golovkin?
No, still talking about his next move.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, Eddie, I appreciate your time. Have you got anything else you'd like to add?
Just tune in on Saturday night. See you at the press conference later this week. You won't be in this week, will you?
No, my return is scheduled in for Gibraltar.
How are you getting on with? Are you under pressure at the minute, or?
Oh,
I mean, like between me and you, and about another 150,000 people watching this, I know you love your daughter, right? More than anything. Yeah? But how much are you looking forward to getting out of the house?
Huh? Do you know what? Next week.
I remember when I had my first child, I stayed for 2 weeks at home. And I remember getting in the car, driving to the office. And it was like, you know, yeah, it was nice.
Well, I'll see, because obviously I've been here every day.
Listen, you'll miss her like mad. You'll miss her like mad. But, you know, don't worry. Don't have to say anything. I know so.
Roll on Gibraltar. All right, Eddie, thank you very much talking to IFL TV. Raza is in the bubble this week.
I'll see him later in the week.
Yeah, he's tested today, so yeah, you'll catch up with him later this week.
Cheers, everyone. Stay
Thank
safe.
you
Stay
very much,
well.
Eddie.
See ya.